Hi and welcome to Car Mechanical, and today we're going to go into part 1 of Project Oynx, and this is going to be the first proper video of the bodywork. So if you've seen part 0, you'll see that 6 months ago, so about September in 2015, I did some repair work on the body and the rust, and I'm doing a walk around now and I'm just showing you exactly where the body's got to. A lot of this rust's come back, and there were certain things I pointed out in that video about the way I used the rust treatment that have come back to bite me on this, and there were other things that came back to bite me in regards to the conditions I did everything in. So I'm just going to go around and show you all of this rust, but the factors that basically impacted this was when I used the rust treatment, it wasn't, I sanded it back to smoothen out the paint, and the issue of that is I probably took the treatment out of the paint, and I also didn't probably use enough primer. I should have used zinc etch primer, and the time of year it was very damp outside and nothing got enough coats as it should have done, and it didn't get the amount of layers that it should have done. So what you've got is we've got all of this rust. Now all of this body prep is for the roller paint job, so it's going to be fairly loose. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the main purpose of this prep work is to get rid of the rust, to seal the rust and prevent any future rust by rust converting it, to prime the paint, to put some colour match paint on for what's on the car at the moment, and that's just in prep for the next stage. But anyway, as I've been going around and showing you all of the issues that I need to resolve, we're going to go in a minute and then we're going to start, and we're taking back some of the paint issues we have. So I'm using an orbital sander here, and I'm going in quite harsh. I think I'm using a 240 grit, maybe even a 120 or 140 grit sanding disc there. And if you've seen the part 0, you've seen me do this repair, and the filler works come out okay. But what I need to do is I need to get rid of these rust issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the orbital sander, and I'm just going to take back everything here, and I'm just going to get it back to bare metal or back to filler. And as we jump along slowly, you can see how it's all coming back. And you can see the rust that was there, it wasn't all over it, it just kind of came out through the damp that I'd managed to get in. That's my theory anyway. So once I've sanded it back, and if you were going to do the same, first stage before you put anything else on, use panel wipe. So I'm using this panel degreaser, and it's just going to take off any residue and any remnants that are left on the body before I put anything else on. You also notice I'm speeding quite a bit of this up because I had hours worth of footage. So this is a rust converter. It's called a Vactan, and it's really good stuff. It's what military guys use on military vehicles. So I'm going to put this on with a brush. There might be better ways, like using a sponge or a foam brush or something, but if you put it on, just put it on so it's nice and smooth. And because of the way I'm painting the car, it doesn't matter that you can see the brush marks in this, but if you did use a sponge, you'd probably put it on smoother, because I do it in other parts. So we come back, and the paint colours, the bodywork colours changed, and I'm priming it, but you can see it changed to that darker colour. That's how you know the rust converter's working. So I prime it, and I use quite a few layers of primer. I think I'll go for 2 or 3. I'm going to show you at least 2 on the screen. And then when that's done, I'm going to put regular paint on. So this is all to do with the roller paint job, and the reason I'm putting regular paint on, I need to put a key into the paint at some point. So we'll be scuffing this paint up to paint onto it, but I want this all to seal up before I do that. So I put on 2 or 3 layers of this paint, and I'm just going to move around the car, and I'm going to slowly deal with all of the bodywork issues to get all of the paint sorted before we start coming back to it in a couple of videos time for the roller paint job. So here again, I've sanded it back, I've panel wiped it, I'm going over it with the rust converter. Now the rust converter, this particular one, says it can be used as a primer to paint straight onto, but what I wanted to do was to use it as a sub primer, I guess, and then go over it with regular primer, and then I could just go over and paint that on top. So again, I'm doing 2 or 3 layers for the primer and 2 or 3 layers for the regular paint coat as well here. I'm just speeding things up and cutting things out just for the sake of moving along with these videos. And I didn't do too bad a job of making this all fairly neat, but the reason that I'm going through with the mass paint of the car is because of I want the end result to be a consistent colour, and one of the problems with this, it's called corn blue. It looks really inconsistent all over the car depending on where it's aged. Okay, so this part I'm coming back to is the bonnet or the hood, and that really got hit badly by the winter, so all of the road sorts and everything. And again, same process again. We sand it back, we rust convert it, we prime it, and we paint it. And I'm just going to keep going over that because I just really want to show people what I've done in the prep. So, and I'm really not that fussed about the overspray in other areas of the bonnet, because you're going to see exactly why when we get onto the sanding back of everything. But I'm quite pleased with how this has all gone, because as we do go over everything, it does actually blend in quite nicely. If the paint had been better over the whole car, this would have been worth doing, and then blending it with polishing on materials or something. But my big concern with the car is just the amount of rust that does come back. So with the project, as I've done it, I've used the rust converter to seal the rust, and I've painted everything. But I actually use Rust-Oleum, which is an oil-based paint, which is again to inhibit the spread of any more rust. If you've seen some of the videos on the car, this car originally cost me about £600, and I've spent a lot more on it since. But one of the big things is I don't want to spend big money on any one thing if I can help it. Also with roller paint jobs, I've seen loads of people do it, but I've not seen any videos that I felt have shown it end to end, so I wanted to share that. So for this video, I've dealt mainly with light sanding, light rust issues. So I'm dealing with all of the light parts here, and in the next video that follows this, I'm going to go into the deeper issues. And the deeper issues lie in the doors. They are so stubborn. I've dealt with them before, but I think I need to go at them almost at an industrial level of how much stuff I layer on to try and sort them. But you can see here, as we go over everything, it starts to really sort it out. And I don't know if you've seen the previous videos of where the door was scratched up in a previous accident, but I've really not put too much care and effort into this door, knowing that I'm going to be layering it up and I can deal with things once the roller paint job's on it. But it's actually come out really nice. So we're actually about there for this video, but it was just a really quick overview. Well, it's not quick because we're at about the 7.5 minute mark, but it was just an overview to take you into the basic rust, and then this bottom of the door frame part, this is what we're going to deal with in the next part. If you do want to see the rest of the series as it comes out, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you think other people are going to enjoy these videos, please share out the videos, hit the like button, and leave any comments or anything you'd like to know in the comment section below.